Decimals on a Number Line, a math video by Ms. Cotton's Corner. Today, we are going to learn all about decimals on a number line. In this video, we will connect what we know about whole numbers to decimals. We will also look at real-world scenarios where you might need to use decimals and explore how number lines can help you understand and use decimals easily. Ready? Let's go! You have probably used number lines to represent whole numbers before. Maybe you practiced adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing on a number line. For example, you might have added on a number line by hopping, like this. Hopping on a number line helped you learn that numbers on a number line get bigger as you move to the right. You might have subtracted on a number line by hopping backwards, like this. That helped you learn that numbers get smaller as you move to the left. On a number line, numbers get bigger as you move to the right and smaller as you move to the left. You also might have seen number lines that look like this. In the previous examples, each tick mark on the number line represented one whole number. On this number line, you can see that isn't true. What do you think the missing numbers might be? That's right, this number line counts by tens. One of the amazing and useful things about number lines is that they can represent numbers in lots of different ways. You probably explored the idea of counting by different numbers when you learned to multiply on the number line. For example, this number line helps you multiply 3 times 4. Now let's take a closer look at this number line. We can agree that this number shows 0 apples and this number shows 1 whole apple. If we continued, we could show 2 apples, 3 apples, and so on. What happens if we zoom in on the part of the number line that shows numbers between 0 and 1? If we were counting by whole numbers, this would be a pretty short number line. But we know that there are decimals, or partial numbers, between the whole numbers. Let's start by dividing this number line into 10 equal pieces between 0 and 1. Because there are 10 equal pieces, we call them tenths. Just like we counted with the apples, we can count by tenths. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and 10/10, or 1 whole. Each of these decimals represents a part of a whole number. You can see that the tenths gradually build up, like going up a staircase, until we reach 1 whole. The same concept works between any whole numbers. For example, take a look at this number line from 5 to 6. We can divide it into 10 equal pieces and call them tenths. But this time when we count, we need to remember that we have 5 wholes in addition to our tenths. So we would count like this: 5 1/10, 5 2/10, 5 3/10, 5 4/10, and so on until you get to 6. Now let's practice with a real-world scenario. This is Ava. She loves to run. Her best time on the 100-meter dash is 12 6/10 of a second. Let's plot her time on a number line. First, we know that she runs for at least 12 whole seconds, so 12 is our whole number. We will put that here. We know that 13 is the next whole number after 12, so we will put that here. Now we will count up until we land on 12 6/10. 12 1/10, 12 2/10, 12 3/10, 12 4/10, 12 5/10, 12 6/10. There it is. Now this number line shows Ava's fastest run. This is Leo. His fastest time is 12 9/10 of a second. Can you find his time on this number line and figure out who is faster? We already know that Ava's time is 12 6/10 of a second. If we keep counting on, we will land on 12 9/10 of a second here. Now it is easy to see that Ava's decimal is smaller than Leo's, so Ava is faster than Leo. We can divide whole numbers into 10 equal pieces called tenths. One of the really great things about number lines is how easy it is to show any decimal. Now that you know how to find tenths on the number line, let's learn about even smaller partial numbers. Let's learn about hundredths. Let's look at this number line again. We divided the whole number into 10 equal parts, and we called those parts tenths. Now, let's divide the tenths into 10 equal parts. Because it takes 100 of these small pieces to make one whole, we call these parts hundredths. 10 hundredths makes 1/10, and 100 hundredths makes one whole. Just like with whole numbers and with tenths, we can count these parts. Let's start with 0 and count to 1/10. 100ths, 200ths, 300ths, 400ths, 500ths, 600ths, 700ths, 800ths, 900ths, 1/10. We can also plot hundredths between any whole numbers and between any tenths. Let's look at an example. Madison writes a song that is 3 45 minutes long. Let's plot that on this number line. We know that her song is at least 3 minutes long, so let's start with 3. We know that her song is less than 4 minutes, so the decimals we need to look at are between 3 and 4. In fact, we know that her song has a 4 in the tenths place. Because her song is a little longer than 3 4/10 minutes, let's zoom into that spot on the number line. That makes it easier to plot the hundredths. Starting at 3 4/10, let's count up. 3 41 hundredths, 3 42 hundredths, 3 43 hundredths, 3 44 hundredths, 3 45 hundredths. There it is! Let's try one more. Madison's favorite artist just released a song that runs for 3 42 hundredths of a minute. Madison wants to make her song exactly the same length. Let's see what the difference between the two songs is. Madison's song was 3 45 hundredths, so let's start there and count down to find 3 42 hundredths. 3 45 hundredths, 3 44 hundredths, 3 43 hundredths, 3 42 hundredths. This number line makes it so easy to see that Madison needs to cut 3 hundredths of a second off of her song to make it equal to her favorite artist's song. On a number line, decimals get bigger as you move to the right and smaller as you move to the left, just like whole numbers. Let's try a couple more problems. Jonas is a long-distance swimmer. On Monday, he swims 1.3 miles. Let's plot his swim on a number line. 1 3/10 is between 1 and 2, so we will focus on that area of the number line. Starting at 1, we can count up 3/10. Point T shows 1 3/10, the length of Jonas's swim. Chloe measures her crayon and learns that it is 7 39 hundredths of a centimeter long. Which point on this number line shows the length of Chloe's crayon? 7 and 39 hundredths is between 7 and 8. It is closer to 7, so we will focus on that part of the number line. Starting at 7 and 4/10, we can count backwards 1/100th to find that point C shows 7 and 39 hundredths the length of Chloe's crayon. Today you have learned all about decimals on a number line. You've connected that to what you know about whole numbers, you've practiced with real-world scenarios, and now you can use number lines to understand decimals. Number lines are a terrific tool for helping you learn and use decimals in math class and in real life. Awesome work, mathematicians! Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to Miss Cotton's Corner so you don't miss a single video. And if you're a teacher, subscribe to this channel for lots of learning videos to share with your students. You can also find Miss Cotton's Corner on TBT, Instagram, Facebook, and my blog at MissCottonsCorner.com. See you there!